AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by One Cigar Bar Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Mikey Mahtook, 30 minutes from right now. Alan Faneca in 1 hour. Also 1 hour away from first pitch. LSU and Georgia, game 1 there in Athens. No Terrio today. If you're just knocking off work, jumping in the car, truck, van, heading home, or wherever you may be going this weekend. State track meet is this weekend. So Georgia Terrio and the Parkview Baptist Eagles are running. So we wish Georgie good luck and all the high school athletes that'll be competing this weekend. Stay safe, do great, represent your family, your school, everybody, and good luck to all of them. So Terry will be back with us next week. Well, earlier this week, Will Wade was a guest on John Rothstein's podcast, talked about it at the time, said he had 7 or 8 players committed, even though there was only one public commitment in Mo Diabate. Well, after that, subsequently, every day there's been another public commitment that has leaked out, and that continued on Friday with another player being added. Believe it was Joe Tipton who had it first earlier today, but Joe Tipton reported that Kansas State transfer guard Abdi Bashir has picked the LSU Tigers. Now, I'll give you the thumbnail here on Abdi Bashir. He is a Kansas State transfer guard, committed to LSU, 6'7". As a junior this past year at K-State, averaged 13 points per game, shot 44% from 3. 2 years ago, he was one of the top scorers in the country when he averaged over 20 points per game at Monmouth. So you're talking about a guy who is entering his junior year of college and has been an elite level scorer from the wing, 6'7", can fill it up from 3. And we've seen this pretty consistent theme here with the ads that Will Wade has gotten so far, and they're offensive players. Will Wade's NC State team this past season was 242nd in points allowed at 76.3 points per game. And if you remember, one of the criticisms people had of Will Wade first go around here was he didn't defend, especially didn't defend the three-point line. So naturally, he's adding scores. All these guys so far we've talked about, as we have talked about guys like Divine Ogachukwu, who comes in from Michigan State. I don't like it. Divine Ugo or Ogu? Was it? Oh, it starts with a U, right? Ugochukwu. That's it. Which one do we get? Which one do we like?
I'm still torn, man. I think it's the longer one, though.
Okay. I'm kind of there, too. All that to say, there's still a ways to go before they fill out the roster. But you're talking about about guys so far they've added that seem to be singularly focused on the offensive end that might struggle a bit defensively. Remember, Jeff Goodman gave us the full report on the first pickup of the week, the Brazilian player, Marcio Santos, who's been playing internationally in Israel. Said big body, 23 years old, been playing professionally since he's 15, but doesn't defend a lick. He basically takes time off on one end of the floor. By the way, I'm nailing these names. I mean, we are rolling. Can I get some type of love here? A little bit, give me some dings. I've nailed Marcio Santos. I've named Divine Ugachukwu. Now we're talking about Kansas State transfer guard Abdi Bashir. For what it's worth, I was at the Our Lady of the Lake Big Bash on Thursday night at Football Ops. I did see our bud, Will Wade.
Hey, Will. Hey, bud.
And I went up to him. I hadn't seen him since the introductory press conference. I said, hey, man, you going to sign some guys who have names I can pronounce? Making me look bad on the radio. He kind of laughed and was like, you're going to have to work on your pronunciation skills because there's more to come. I was like, okay. Thank you, sir. So Abdi Bashir is the latest. And Jerome Tang, who's the former Kansas State head coach, last year, before this past season, was talking about his transfers. And, of course, Abdi Bashir was coming in from Monmouth to Kansas State. And this is what Tang had to say about Bashir's game before this past season.
Abdi's playing style, I best describe it with one word, and that, he's a bucket. He can score it from all three levels, and the ball comes out of his hands real easy. He has a beautiful shot, but he also loves making plays for his teammates, and his leadership skills are going to be very evident on the court.
Love to hear that. And then that does very nicely dovetail into Jerome Tang talking about Abdi Bashir's character.
Off the court, Abdi's a very caring young man. To give you an example, when PJ was showing up to move in, Abdi rearranged his schedule so he can be there to help him move his stuff into the apartment. Just a very caring young man off the court.
So looks like you got a guy that can fill it up from all three levels and a pretty good teammate as well, according to Jerome Tang, his head coach there at Kansas State. Will Wade adding players. Now, the last two we've talked about are scorers, but they're both guards. And as we well know, Will Wade likes having really good guard play.
You don't have a real guard. Does that matter?
You don't have a real guard.
You don't have a
you haven't seen Javante play or Cam play this year?
Yeah, but you want him to shoot. You like him to score. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the point. You got to have more points than the other team.
Oh, where's the rest of it?
Oh, I didn't know you wanted the whole minute.
Yeah!
Oh, hold on. Hold tight. That's a quick grab.
The whole thing. How the hell do you play that without the what's your question? Muse, don't ever play that soundbite again without Wade taking a shot at Cobble. All right, let me hear.
What are you looking for out of your team? And if guard play wins in March, you don't have a real guard. Does that matter?
You don't have a real guard.
You don't have
you haven't seen Javante play or Cam play this year?
Yeah, but you want him to shoot. You like him to score. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the point. You got to have more points than the other team. So you got to have guys that can shoot and score. Damn, that's been our philosophy around here. It's not like we're grinding people out in the 60s. What do you mean we don't have good guards? You're right, we don't have good guards. We got great guards.
I didn't say you don't have.
We got two of the best guards in our league, two of the best guards in the country. What's your question?
What's the one thing you want to see out of your team improved here
Well, rebounding. Rebounding, that would be great. Be a little bit better rebounding in March, we'd be in business.
Oh. Why is that the best ever?
Poor Cobble.
No!
Poor Cobble, man.
He brings it on himself!
He just draws the ire of these LSU coaches.
He brings it on himself!
Oh, man.
You don't have any real guards. What is that? Will did appropriately what he should have done there, which was just bloody Cobble's nose in the press conference. But seriously, tell me that soundbite joking aside, doesn't play right now. Look at the players. That was, what year was that? Is that labeled on the year?
No, I don't have it labeled.
Well, there's Will telling
2021.
you. 21. Okay. So 5 years ago, that's Will Wade saying, this is our style. We don't grind people out. We're not playing in the 60s. We're trying to score. So what's he doing? He's not recruiting guys that are going to go be just hammers on the defensive end. He's looking for guys that can score. So he's going and getting scores. What do you need to improve? Rebounding. So go get some big bodies that can grab some boards and get it to your scorers. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on a Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are brought to you by Parish Restoration. Hey, if you do have water intrusion with these storms, remember Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. If you need mold restoration, remediation, they can help you. It's mold remediation done right the first time. It's Parish Restoration. Log on parishrestoration.com. You can fill out the form. They'll be in touch with you. They'll give you that estimate. It's more cost-effective. It's more effective. It's more efficient. It's their safe, patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. It's Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. All right, it's after further review. Mikey Mahtook will be with us here in about 18 minutes to talk about LSU baseball as we're less than an hour away from first pitch game one with LSU and Georgia over in Athens. Let me knock out a break. We'll come back. And Pete Werner, the Saints restructured his contract today. What does that mean for Werner's future and the future of the linebacker position with the Saints? I want to dive into that a bit when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
I was checking the text line earlier, and literally in the last break, and I got a message from someone saying that you heard me talking about the peptides that I'm on and basically how it's helped my back. I'm trying to get his name exactly. Forgive me, I can't find it right now. But in any event, the point being, I'm so glad that people are asking me a lot now about peptides and about a lot of the different things, biohacking and whatnot, that I've done that have been great for me. And peptides are at or near the top of the list. And it's becoming so much more in vogue, so much more mainstream. People are having that conversation. What I need you to know is if you're interested in learning more about peptides, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has all of them. So, and there's a peptide for darn near anything. So log on to yourgoodwood.com, or call, get the answers to your questions, get started today. yourgoodwood.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Countdown to first pitch, LSU and Georgia game one. Mikey Mahtook will be here with us in about 13 minutes to preview that game. I think we'll wait for the lineup to be posted as well. I think most relevant, obviously, is will Omar Cerna be in the lineup? I'm assuming he will be. When Jay Johnson last talked about it on Wednesday before they left, he basically said that Cerna was limited because his back wasn't feeling great, so they held him on Tuesday. Okay, I have a feeling Omar Cerna is going to be ready to go in this game. And you're going to need him, man. You're going against the best offensive team in the league. It is unrealistic. Georgia, as a team, cumulatively, it's 325. They lead the league in hits and runs and homers. It is unrealistic to think you're just going to go handcuff this offense and they're not going to score in their own ballpark. So you are going to have to keep pace. You are going to need to be at your best offensively and not miss opportunities. Yeah, you need Omar Cerna in the lineup today and all weekend. So here's hoping he's good to go. We'll talk about that with Mikey coming up here in just a bit. With Saints rookie minicamp opening here on Friday, the other piece of news that popped up is that Spotrac reported earlier today that the Saints have restructured Pete Werner's contract. So let me go through the terms, and then we'll go through the what this means for both the short and long term with Pete Werner. So remember, in restructuring a contract, what you do is you convert salary into a signing bonus. So it lowers the cap hit for that year and allows you to pay that money or apply that money to future caps. The benefit for the team is they get cap relief. The benefit to the player is they get all the money now. So Pete Werner's game checks this season will be less because his roster number is going to be like $1.2 million, something like that. But he gets a $5 million check today, $5.035 million. Okay, so this year his cap hit goes down to $3.9 million. In 2027, it's 9.2, and then avoidable year in 2028 at 5.3. So effectively, this created $4.028 million in cap space for this year. So it's a situation where the Saints going into rookie minicamp are looking at this and saying, all right, well, you got to sign. Remember, you have to have enough cap space to sign all your rookies. And then in addition to which they did, they assigned 7 of the 8 here on Friday. And then in addition to that, what if you want to re-sign Cam Jordan at some point? We got to have money to do it. What if there's another free agent you may want to add? What if you make a trade? Like, you got to have a little space there. And so this freed up space. It gives them more than enough room, to do what they want to do. Because remember, you only count the top 51 contracts against the cap until the roster cuts start. So right now it's just your top 51 contracts. So they're well within the cap. They got about $14 million in cap space available right now. So if there's a veteran they want to sign, they can do it. If it's Cam Jordan they want to re-sign, they can do it. Plenty of options for New Orleans there financially as a result of this move. But I think the more interesting component here is what it means for Pete Werner. Because effectively in re-signing or restructuring Pete Werner and moving money into next year, into 2027, there is no more conversation about potentially trading Pete Werner. And there was some of that conversation because New Orleans is going to have to decide, as you extended his rookie deal, are you going to sign Pete Werner to a long-term contract? Remember, you just watched Demario Davis walk in free agency, and you added Caden Ellis in free agency. So you got younger there. And you've got some young players at linebacker that might have an opportunity. They really like Danny Stutzman. We've talked about Jalen Ford in the past. Do they go into the draft next year? Looking at linebacker help earlier in the draft, maybe. How does Lorenzo Styles fit in? Is he, is he a safety? Is he that slot? Is he sort of a hybrid player? I don't know. The point is, they'll figure that out after this season now, because with the way that they restructured Pete Werner's contract, it effectively guarantees that he will be on the team in 2026. That maybe felt obvious, but it wasn't exactly obvious. At least it was a talking point. Now there is no more conversation around there because financially it does not behoove you to part ways with Pete Werner now after this restructure. So Pete Werner, it will be on the team this year. 2027 becomes fascinating because his salary number, his cap number, and his dead number are basically the same for 2027. So 2026 for Pete Werner becomes a year where, for New Orleans, you got to decide, is this someone you want on your roster long term? Is this someone that you want to extend again? Or is this a thing where you go into 2027 with Caden Ellis and Danny Stutzman as your off-the-ball linebackers? So it's a big year for Pete Werner, not only in New Orleans, but for whatever the next iteration of his career is going to be in New Orleans or elsewhere. But the decision today effectively guarantees Pete Werner is going to be in New Orleans for the 2026 season, and the possibility of trading him, that's out the window at this point. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. New Orleans also on Friday, this was the deadline. They had for teams to decide if they were going to pick up the fifth-year option for first-round draft picks. So for the Saints, this was Tyree Wilson, and they just traded for him in the draft, gave up a fifth-round pick. So the option then transferred from the Raiders to the Saints. The Raiders had not yet made a decision on Tyree Wilson's fifth-year option. The Saints made that decision today, and they declined to pick up Tyree Wilson's fifth-year option. Remember, a fifth-year option is the average salary of the average of the top 5 salaries at that position in the NFL. So New Orleans decided not to pay Tyree Wilson that. They'll have an opportunity as the season goes along or after the season based on how the year goes to make a determination. This is basically a one-year rent player. You're renting. You gave up a 5th-round pick to rent Tyree Wilson for a season, and it's maybe like a rent-to-own situation where you gave up a 5th-round pick to rent him this year and the possibility of a long-term deal if it works out this year. And if not, well, then you gave up a 5th-round pick, and 5th-round picks, day 3 picks, are generally, a lower hit rate anyway, so it's a bit of a crapshoot. This feels like less of a risk because you got a guy that's a more veteran player. Can he sort of flourish in Brandon Staley's defense? You get some on-the-job training, some real-world experience to make that determination if you want to invest long-term. But the Saints declined the 5th-year option for Tyree Wilson. All right, it's after further review. We are brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. I was driving around earlier today in the torrential rain. There was water pooling on the interstate by Acadian, like up against that retaining wall right there. Puddles splashing everywhere. Driving my Volkswagen Atlas Crossport, took it like a champ. I mean, right through that puddle, had no loss of control at all whatsoever. When you drive a Volkswagen, you are driving among the safest vehicles on the road. The highest safety designation you can get by the IIHS with the top safety picks. You get the style, feel, performance of luxury, great value, manufactured in the US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant, and the peace of mind knowing you're driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. So parents, maybe you're buying a vehicle, that first vehicle for your son or daughter who's going to be a high school graduate, or trying to set your college graduate up for the next stage of life by surprising them with a vehicle. Check out a Volkswagen from South Point Volkswagen. Sedans, SUVs, compact, midsize, full-size SUVs. Got everything that you'd want there at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all, it is after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We'll chat with Alan Faneca in about 35 minutes from right now at the top of hour 3. When we come back, though, as LSU gets set for a massive series on the road against Georgia, former Tiger great Mikey Mahtook will jump aboard with us to preview it and tell us what we should be looking for with the Tigers against the Bulldogs in Athens this weekend. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. You can always go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, or if you'd rather, you can call 888-8888, 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon, of course, so philanthropic, so community-focused and oriented. We tell you all the time about Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Remember, Gordon's also an investor in Court to Table. We'll be there on Thursday for our show, so 6 days away. We'll be there at Court to Table for AFR next Thursday with our friends over at Mockler Beverage and the Court to Table folks. So hopefully you'll come by and join us at Court to Table. And if you haven't been yet, highly recommend you go. The food is outstanding. Whether you play pickleball or not, doesn't matter. They got pickleball if you're into that. The restaurant is outstanding if you're just looking for a great meal for the whole family. The bar area, awesome place to watch any game. Check it out, Court to Table, and our friends at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
I think we've taken the bullets, been dragged through the mud, head stepped on, all of those things, and we're still alive. And, who's the best soldier? The best soldier is the one that's not afraid to be killed. There's literally nothing to be afraid of. So go in there, guns blazing with a lot of confidence and play. And if it's good enough, it'll be good enough. If it's not, it won't. But there's literally nothing to be afraid of at this point in time for this team.
A tad dramatic. But to get his point, Mikey Mahtook's good enough to hang out with us here for a couple minutes, former Tiger great. Yo, dude, how are you?
How you doing, man? How y'all doing?
Doing really well. I'll be doing awesome if the Tigers find a way to win this series. The last time LSU missed the postseason was 2011. Yep.
Don't remind me.
No, you were on the team. But what I would like, though, is some perspective just on what it was like going through the stretch run of that season for that team that maybe these guys are thinking about right now?
Yeah, and look, it was a little bit different then. We had a very young. Obviously, the portal wasn't a thing back then, so it was you had to bring them in, you had to recruit, you had to develop, and then some years you have years where you have a rotation full of freshmen, which is we had in 2011. That was Kevin Gosman's first year, and Kurt McCune was our Friday night guy. You had Gosman pitching. And then you had Ryan Eads was also a freshman. So we had talent, but we were just a bunch of young guys and guys just trying to find their way. And we ended up going 36-20. I think we had a pretty good RPI, and it's just at that time in SEC baseball, they only had 8 teams go to the tournament, and we were the 9th team in the SEC, and so we didn't make it and didn't get the at-large bid. But from what I remember from that year is, similar to this year, extremely talented. Like I said, but young. And so we started the season off well and then went through some really tough times in the SEC because we weren't able to win close games, right? And I think that's the common theme that you're seeing with this team, right? They've lost a ton of close games, and, the record could be a little bit different if 3 or 4 games the ball bounced a different way. And, but at the end of that year in 2011, I think Kevin Gosman's last 4 starts of the season, he had like a 1.1 ERA or something like that. And we were playing really good baseball. Freshmen started playing better, and we didn't get the at-large bid and didn't get an opportunity to go in. Now you have more teams from the SEC get at-large bids. You have everybody makes the tournament. And so if they can kind of repeat that where the freshmen start to figure it out, which it seems like the last couple of weeks they're starting to do that, and put themselves in a position to get that at-large, right, to get the 13 wins and maybe win 1 or 2 games in the tournament and get in the tournament and get into the postseason, then, at that point anything can happen, especially when these young guys start playing with a bunch of confidence.
What's the biggest difference you've noticed since they put the freshmen in, Mikey?
For me, it just seems like when you bring a bunch of guys in from the portal that are so-called established, whether it be at a smaller school or a bigger school in a different conference, and they come and transfer here, they have a certain plan, right, when they come here. Hey, I'm going to go there, I'm going to get paid, I'm going to play well, I'm going to get drafted high, and I'm going to go to the next level. And they kind of already have this built-in idea of who they are as a player, and they don't really want to stray from that because that's got them to where they're at. These freshmen come in, and especially when they're from Louisiana and just trying to get on the field, and they're getting this opportunity, and they don't have a preconceived notion about who they are. At this point, they're just trying to grind to get onto the field and play. And what it looks like is, these guys are doing anything and everything they can to be productive and do whatever they need to do to win the game. Whether that be, ugly looking at bat, but put the ball in play with 2 strikes and get the guy in from third base, whether it be an infield single, a drag bunt, whatever it may be. It just feels like those guys are bought in a little bit more to whatever it takes. And, you get that a lot when you're a freshman. So it's nice to see those guys. And then as the more innings they play and the more at-bats they get, the more confident they're going to be. And you're going to start seeing them take some bigger swings and have some bigger moments.
You've noticed a different offensive approach from the young guys?
I have, and I think it's trickled down a little bit to some of the other guys too. Cause, you see Rucker go in there and he's grinding out with 2 strikes and he's, fighting his way on base. You see William Patrick go up there and letting balls get deep, and he's chopping balls into the ground with 2 strikes, but he's trying to beat it out, and he's getting infield singles, and he's doing these things where he's hitting the ball at the catcher's mitt to the second baseman, but the guy from third base scores, right? And it just feels like they're just grinding and battling and trying to survive. And by doing that, they're doing the little things that wins baseball games. And so that it feels like you're seeing that. I mean, you're seeing guys all up and down the lineup hit balls opposite field, let the ball get deeper with 2 strikes. I believe it was maybe last weekend. Reeves goes down the count, battled his way through it, and shot a ball through the 6-hole with the shift, and had an RBI with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And it just feels like the lineup's buying into that approach. Now, obviously, they're still going to drive balls out of the ballpark, hit balls in the gap when the count and the situation asks for it. But when there's a situation where the guy on third base with less than 2, which we have not been good for the majority of the year, the last month they've been significantly better. At that point, just hit the ball on the ground, get, if the infield's back, and get them in. And it seems like that's what they're doing a lot more of, and you're seeing the results.
Mikey Mahtook's with us. Does William Patrick remind you of you?
That's a hard question. Listen, I guess if you look at appearance and what he, how he plays on the field, I think there are some similarities. I've been told that from a bunch of different people.
Okay.
Very athletic outfielder, obviously. Fast, big, strong, a little bit raw. Very similar to how I was when I got to LSU, and loves LSU. And it just feels like like I said, he's grinding everything he can do, everything he can do to stay in the lineup. And he got some opportunities early because he's athletic and can play defense. But yeah, I guess I can see some similarities there. It's just I don't like. That's a hard question talking about. I don't like talking about myself that way. But yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to see the comps, though. You're talking about a big, physical outfielder who can really run and came here ready to play with a good power stroke and tons of upside. I mean, dude, you became a first-round pick. Like it's. I think people sort of model that way. It would be interesting to see. Well, let me ask you then this way: is there another player that's played at LSU that maybe Patrick reminds you of?
Honestly, I guess the comp coming in as a freshman, right? Only seeing a limited amount of time of him, in the lineup, and seeing the type of skill set he has. I guess there would be, I would probably be the comp.
Yeah.
If I had to say it. It's just, he's very athletic. He's a good kid. I've gotten to know him a little bit, and he's going out there and he's taken every opportunity and every role and everything Jay wanted him to do early on in the season. Did that, got better, and now he's getting valuable experience. And hopefully, the end of his freshman year can be like the end of my freshman year.
Well, that freshman year ended with a really nice trophy in Omaha. I would love nothing more than to see that happen. But they got a steep hill to climb. That starts here in 21 minutes with Game 1 against Georgia. It'll be Schmidt on the mound. Mikey, how do you think Schmidt fares against Georgia today?
You know what? Look, if Schmidt can throw strikes and work ahead in the count, I think he fares well against any lineup. Right? He's got extreme amount of talent. He's got the stuff to get guys out. For him, it's about working ahead, and for him, it's about not giving free passes, especially to a team like Georgia. I don't care if he goes 6 innings and gives up 4 runs and it's 4 solo homers. Right? That means he's getting everybody else out, and guys are going to pop homers, and that's fine. I can take that. But if you start walking guys and you start giving free passes and you give up the 3-run homer, that's when the game kind of changes. And so I think stuff-wise and ability-wise, he fares really well against them. It's just, is he going to be able to fill up the strike zone, work ahead, and put them on the defensive? Because that's a really, really tough lineup. If they don't just hit homers, they grind through at bats. And they're going to make him work. So he's going to have to not give in and let his stuff work for him.
A couple more for you here, Mikey. We know what they have to do, right? We've talked about it a ton. They got to get to 13. I think Jay even said that when he met with reporters. Internally, do you think these guys are talking about that?
Yeah, I think so. I think they know where they need to get, but I don't think it's consuming them, if that makes sense, especially after last weekend. After you get the sweep against South Carolina, which, look, if there was a team, you needed to get 7 of the 9 wins. And if there's a team to sweep, that was a team at home, and they did that. I think after you get the sweep, now you look up and you say, all right, all we got to do is win 2 series. That's it. We just got to go win 2 series. It's not about how many wins we need to get. You go win the next 2 series, and you put yourself in a really good position. And I think, I think the guys know that, but I don't think that they are, counting down the outs of saying, all right, we need this many outs to get this win. Now let's move on to the next one. I think it's just at this point, hey, we need 4 wins in 2 weekends. Let's go ahead, and if you play the game that we need to play, don't make errors, throw strikes, I think they have a really good opportunity to win both of them.
It's going to be fascinating theater to watch, man. It's you got a good draw last weekend. You got a really tough draw this weekend on the road against best team in the conference, but you got to go win a weekend, like you said. See if the Tigers can do it. First pitch coming up here in about 20 minutes from right now. Hey, Mikey, let's remind people about when you and Jay Mitch are on and where people can go get your content.
Yep, mic'd up. We're on Monday, Wednesday nights from 6 to 8-ish, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes later. That's the beauty of YouTube. You don't have a set time. And then we go Friday from 1 to 2, a little pregame before the game, talk a little gambling, talk a little baseball, around the SEC, all that kind of stuff. So you can catch us on YouTube. If you don't like watching and you like listening to us, which I don't know why you would, we both have faces for TV. So
it's true, man. It's true.
You can listen to us anywhere you get your pods. But we'd appreciate it. We love just having a good time talking ball. We're not much of a big take show. We're more of a hey, let me tell you kind of the player side of it, and we have a good time doing it.
Love it. It's mic'd up with Mikey Mahtook and Jared Mitchell. MIK''D is where you can find MIK''D, mic'd up. You can find it on YouTube, and as Mikey said, your favorite podcast app. So support the guys. Go get subbed up there. A couple of former national champion Tigers doing good stuff. We always appreciate the visit, Mikey. Thanks for the time, man.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, bud. Be well. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. Hey, man, a day like this, rain and cats and dogs out there, it'll put the tread on your tires to the test. If today is telling you, yeah, it's probably time for new tires, you're sliding all over the road, time to go to Shawbills. Remember, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab. You can see all the deals they currently have. You could search tires on the center of the homepage. You can go look at your vehicle. Year, make, model, body style, price will tell you what tires you need. You can narrow it all down right there based on your budget, whatever it may be. And they're always going to get you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. They're going to treat you like family, so you keep coming back. Oil changes, tire rotations. You need new wiper blades, battery, go into Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review, Friday edition. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. No Terrio today. If you're just joining us here as we move toward the 5 o'clock hour live here on this Friday edition of AFR, Terrio is at state track meet. I need to see if they've updated that. I know there was a delay over there earlier because of the weather. And George Terrio and Parkview are competing in the state championship, so we wish them well. Let's see. Running events. Okay, running events will begin at 5:30. Check-in opens at 5, so they are set to get a roll in there over at LSU again for the state track meet. So good luck to all the high school track athletes who are competing for state championships this weekend. Let me knock out our final break of hour number 2. We'll come back. Muse new Tigers in the pros. Alan Faneca is set to join us here in about 16 minutes from right now. We'll talk to the Pro Football Hall of Famer, former Tiger great, get his thoughts on this LSU offensive line, Lane Kiffin, et cetera, and then also talk about Louisiana Line Camp, of which he is a counselor. Faneca's coaching the offensive line at St. Paul's in Covington now. I mean, you would talk about, like, what if you're a high school offensive lineman being coached by a Pro Football Hall of Famer as your position coach? Oh, my bad. Pretty cool. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
Mother's Day Sunday. If you haven't gotten that gift from mom yet, let Clegg's help you out. Get by any of the 4 Clegg's nursery locations. Hanging baskets are an awesome gift for mom. They got full greenhouses bursting with blooms, rose bushes, maybe beautiful flowers like dipldenias, the dragon's breath, celosia is there. Look at these, are gorgeous, man. Beautiful red flowers. I mean, I don't even know how to pronounce some of this stuff. It doesn't really matter. Like, what I always recommend is go to Clegg's and ask, hey, what's something that's beautiful, colorful, that doesn't take a ton of work for me to make sure it stays alive? Or maybe you're a green thumb and you want something that's going to be a lot of work and need a lot of TLC because you love spending time in your garden, whatever it may be. Tune wind chimes, hummingbird feeders, great gifts for mom this Mother's Day. Clegg's gift card. Buy local, shop local. Clegg's Nursery.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Craig Alima said, hey, Scone, I know you usually do Ask Ryan segment when he's on the show on Fridays. Can we, by any chance, when he's not able to be there, can we do an Ask the Mats segment where we ask you or Musso sports or off-the-wall questions. Think that could get sideways in a good way on Fridays when Terrio can't make it. Sure. What about Paul, though? We don't want to ask Paul anything?
Yeah, we always have to ask Paul what he thinks about things. So
Yeah.
Paul's a part of the show too, guys.
Paul, how do you feel about being left out of that text?
It's crushing. Not going to lie. Hurt my feelings.
Guy out here hurting Paul's feelings.
And Paul's like the nicest guy ever.
Really, ever. Paul just doesn't say words a lot.
No.
So it's easy to forget Paul's there because he just doesn't say words.
Sometimes I think I have my own office.
It's impossible. I've heard Paul's keyboard.
That's okay. That's fair. That's fair.
He has one of those mechanical keyboards. I can hear it from the fourth floor.
That's it.
Like I walk in, with the two of you. When I walk in so Muse and Paulie share an office. Their desks like face each other. But I guess you don't see each other because you both have monitors blocking your line of sight. But Paul's mechanical keyboard, which do you have that because you like it, or is that just what was given you?
No, that was just given to us.
Okay. Would you like to get rid of that?
It doesn't bother me.
Okay. But if it did, Paul probably wouldn't tell me because Paul doesn't say words. So I have to ask Paul a lot, like, Paul, what is broken here that we can fix for you? And then he'll tell me, but I have to ask him. Which is it's very redeeming quality that Paul has. Paul's great. He's like, everyone loves him. He's so easy to work with. Everyone gets along with him, and he does an awesome job. But Paul's keyboard and Muso cursing at everything and glugging his water would drive me insane. Yes.
Glug
yes.
the water? Excuse me?
Every time you are the loudest audible swallower of water I've ever heard in my life.
What?
Yes. Every time I see you uncap your water, I just like want to plug my ears because I'm like, this is going to be such a loud sip. I have this thing where people who chew or swallow loudly, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard to me. And it's interesting because I saw, like, when I was a kid, like, if we were sitting at the breakfast table, my sister was like a loud eater. And she'd be eating cereal and she'd be like, you know, kind of breathing and audibly chewing. And, like, I would take her cereal away from her. And she would get so mad.
I bet so. She's trying to eat.
I know. God, I know.
I think anyone would get mad at that. Just trying to enjoy a meal and you take it from them.
I know. But anyway, so those are my things. But again, Paul with the keyboard. It's not anything Paul's doing. It's not a personality thing. It's just the sounds. Have you ever noticed that he's a loud swaller, a glugger?
I have noticed that.
Dude, I've never been told this before.
You are a loud water swallower.
I don't think I'm a loud eater, though, so that's
I don't know.
interesting.
I don't think you and I have ever sat at like a restaurant and shared a meal of food. Actually, we have.
Yes, we have.
We have, but I don't remember that. And if you're in a restaurant, it's loud, so you probably wouldn't notice. You probably notice more like if you were, like you eat your little peanut butter crackers all the time, but I'm usually not around when you're eating your peanut butter crackers. Or you're over there and I have headphones on.
Paul, am I a loud chewer?
I haven't noticed the chewing, but maybe it's just like the water bottle. But yeah, I've definitely noticed that.
Maybe I just let too much air in it whenever I'm drinking it.
I don't know.
It makes the bubbles. I don't know. That's interesting.
So loud.
Not on purpose.
Loudest water drinker ever. I know I'm not crazy. By the way, there was I saw an Instagram post. It was like, and clearly my phone has listened to me talk about this before, because it was like people who are bothered by loud eaters have like abnormally high IQs. It's what this thing said. So I shared it on my Instagram story one time. I'm like, I must be the smartest human walking the face of planet Earth. If that's true, because I have an inordinate distaste for people who are loud eaters. It's weird, I know.
No, I mean, it's not weird. I mean, my sister, she hates smacking when people eat. So I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
It's the same thing. So I mean, it's not. I think plenty of people are like that.
And when you talk, when you chew, swallow your food.
Yeah, chew with your mouth closed. Yeah.
Then have a conversation. Yeah. Eric, my dad does this a lot of times. On my drive home, like I'll call my dad just to tell him hi. And usually it's like 6:15, 6:30, whatever. So a lot of times it's dinner. I'm not trying to interrupt him, but like he'll sit there and shove food in his mouth while he's talking to me. I'm like, how do I politely end a conversation with my dad immediately so I do not have to listen to him eat his dinner? And I'll be like, they look, I don't know, look, you're eating. I'll call him back. Oh, I'm good. I'm like, no, really. I'm going to call you back. And he's not listening right now because he's in Greece.
Oh, shout out.
Yeah. It's only like a church trip.
Still, it's Greece. It's awesome.
It'd be better if I was out there like drinking Greek wine and, not being on a church trip. But church trips are great. They have their spot.
It's not Baton Rouge, dude.
No, I get it. Why do you hate Baton Rouge?
I don't. I love Baton Rouge.
Like
I'm just saying, Greece, a lot more beautiful than Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Just caught a huge stray from Musso.
True.
Who knew you hated Baton Rouge? Spread the word Musso hates Baton Rouge. You're the worst.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Tell you what today revealed. All this rain, walking down the stairwell, first floor, backside of the stairwell, water everywhere. Leaky windows. You know what it means? Time for Landon to call Brandon over at Relief Windows. Landon's our facility manager. Over at Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, shutters and shades, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Hey, y'all, we are getting into storm season. Remember, Relief Windows has those storm force impact windows. They're Cat 5 approved in Miami-Dade County. You might remember for years, did you see that commercial where Brandon was taking a crowbar and like hitting the window and it wouldn't break through the window? Like we have those installed. Adds an extra layer of security to your home. They're energy efficient. It's going to increase your home's resale value. It's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows, ReliefWindows.com.